guys, welcome to the best books of April. I did not get any books this week, believe it or not, so I really don't have a stack in the shelves to do, so I thought instead, since I missed doing the best books of April on Wednesday, I'd go ahead and do it today. I did get a little bit behind on things because I was recovering from my COVID shot. I had kind of a bad reaction to it, and I'll talk a little bit about that at the end, but for now, let's get into the best books that I read in April. I have 5 of them to talk about that I really loved, so I'll go ahead and just get right into it. The first one that I read, I think I actually read this the end of March, but because the review posted in April, it's with the April books, and that is A Study in Scarlet by Arthur Conan Doyle. This is the first book in the Sherlock Holmes series. And I ended up really enjoying this a lot, way more than I thought I was going to. It was just very funny and clever, and I loved how there's like some stories within stories in it, and I really loved it. And I am planning on reading more Sherlock Holmes book just because I enjoyed it so much. I've long been like a Sherlock Holmes fan, but never really read the original material, so I'm very excited I got to do that. And I would recommend it. I thought it stood the test of time very well. I like the Victorian setting. I like the wittiness and the twists and turns and the characters, and it was just really good. All right, the second book that I read in April that I really loved is Namesake by Adrienne Young. And this is the second book in the Fable series. I was like blinking. So this is kind of an adventure fantasy, not exactly pirates, but more like merchants and traders kind of fighting, and there's like buried treasure and a lot of adventures. This was really well done, this duology just in general, and this tied it up very nicely. I think it's probably one of Adrienne Young's best books, if not her best. I also liked, Daughter of the Pirate King. I think that was the other series. I pretty much really liked all of her books, but I think this was my favorite so far. Fable is the first book, Namesake is the second book, and it was really good. So if you like fantasy adventure, there is some intrigue and some romance and really good characters and all of that, but if you like that kind of thing, definitely check this out. It was fantastic. All right, the next book I read, I actually don't have like my little paper copy of it, but I'll just go ahead and talk about it. It's another really excellent fantasy adventure. April was really a fantasy adventure month, and that is Blade of Secrets by Tricia Levenseller. I was confused. Tricia Levenseller wrote Daughter of the Pirate. Adrienne Young did Sky in the Deep. So, sorry. Their styles are very similar, so sometimes I get them confused. The newest Tricia Levenseller book, Blade of Secrets, was really good. It's about a young woman who's a blacksmith, who's trained as a blacksmith, who has really bad social anxiety. She can imbue her blades with magic, and she makes this fantastically destructive blade for a warlord that she admires, and then finds out, and she can also kind of tell through this blade like what people's emotions are and stuff, and she finds out that this woman is absolutely evil and ends up fleeing for her life on an adventure to keep this blade from this warlord woman. So that's kind of the premise, and it was really well done. The characters were amazing, some wonderful adventure, a lot of action. I just really loved it, and I cannot wait to read the next book in the series because it was really good. So again, another fantasy adventure, Blade of Secrets by Tricia Levenseller, and if you're looking for some fantasy adventure, that was a good one. All right, so switching veins a little bit into more like urban fantasy paranormal. The next book that I gave 5 stars to in April that I really loved was Semi-Psychic Life, and this is the second book in the Glimmer Lake series by Elizabeth Hunter. Elizabeth Hunter is a new to me writer who I got through Kindle Unlimited, and again, the series features slightly older women in their 40s who gain psychic powers after a bad car accident, and this one features the single mother. And I liked it the best of all the books in the series. I just thought that the relationship between her and her kids and the mystery they were solving and all of that was really intriguing. Um, I liked it a lot. It's the only one out of the series I gave 5 stars, but I really enjoyed them all. They're just Elizabeth Hunter. It just has a very easy to read writing style, and it flows nicely. It's engaging, and they're pretty much effortless to read. And I always enjoy them a lot and have a lot of fun. And I think part of it is these women have special powers, but they also have life. They have jobs, they have families, and it's just kind of very easy for me to relate to right now at my stage in life and a very fun read. So I'm definitely checking out more series by Elizabeth Hunter. I did finish the series. There's a sister series that's called Moonstone Cove that I've talked about before, and I'm going to start reading that. And then she's got a ton of urban fantasy paranormal series out there, and I'm definitely going to start working my way through those. And I'm just very thrilled to find another Kindle Unlimited author that I just really, really love. So if you do Kindle Unlimited, definitely check out Elizabeth Hunter. She's got some excellent paranormal urban fantasy type of stuff that she's writing, and I love that book. All right, and then the final book that I gave 5 stars to in April that I really, really enjoyed was kind of unexpected. I didn't know this even was coming out, and that is Empire of Dreams by Rae Carson. This is the 4th book in the Girl of Fire and Thorns. I think that's the name of the original series. Anyways, that series ended a long, long time ago. I think it was like 2012 or something. So this book has been a long time coming. It actually does not feature the main character from the trilogy. It features a young girl named Red, who was an orphan girl who featured in the trilogy. And this is kind of her story about how she ends up joining the Guard and like her training and all of that. And it was just really well written. It was nice to read something by Rae Carson again. She's an excellent writer. She does a great job with fantasy books. I loved, the initial trilogy that this book is part of. I also really loved I think it's the Gold Seeker or Gold Seer trilogy. They were very well done. So, yeah, I really like this. I was really happy to get something from Rae Carson to read again. I forget what an awesome writer she is. And if you're looking, again, this was more of there's a lot of action, but it's more of a politically driven fantasy. But there's still like a lot of action, training, and character growth. So, really enjoyed that as well. And those are the 5 books that I read in April that I really enjoyed. It's kind of nice. It was an even 5. As far as I was going to post this on Wednesday, but we got our COVID shots last Friday afternoon. And, right after I was like, oh, I feel fine, whatever. And then my arm started to get really sore Friday night and I started to get a fever. And I pretty much had a fever of 101 for 2 days. So Saturday, Sunday, and then Saturday, I was so sore, like all my joints were swollen and I was so sore and my arm was swollen and had a rash on it. I couldn't even barely walk. Like I was having trouble getting out of chairs in bed and like stairs were just like a no-go. So it was really bad. I think my family got really sick of me. We had a couple things we wanted to do, just like go get groceries and go mail some stuff at the post office. And by the time we did that, like I got back in the car and I was done, and got home and basically spent the rest of Saturday just moving. Like I was uncomfortable no matter if I laid down, if I stood up, if I walked, if I sat, it didn't matter. So I was kind of moving from like laying on the bed to like laying on the couch to like laying on the bed to like laying on the couch. And it was pretty bad. And then Sunday, the sore, like the full body soreness went away, but I continued to have a whole bunch of pain in my arm and like just my left side of my body. And that lasted probably, I'm recording this on Thursday, so probably through Tuesday. Like it got a little better each day, but like even by Tuesday, I couldn't like lift my arm any further than this because the muscle was like so swollen. And now it's better. It still hurts a little bit in here when I'm lifting it up, but and then it was weird because the soreness like went into my back too. So like I was having trouble like twisting or like reaching up. Anyways, it's Thursday now. I think I feel mostly normal. I've still been a little bit tired. My husband did not have that kind of reaction. He had a sore arm on Saturday and was super tired and slept most of the day, but then by Sunday he was pretty much fine. So it does vary quite a bit. I'm happy I got it, though. I kind of wonder, like, if I had gotten COVID, if I would have had a super bad reaction too, or how that all works. I don't think anybody really understands right now. But very happy to have gotten that done. So I'm almost a week out from it now, and in another week we should have pretty good immunity. Very much looking forward to the fact that 12 to 15-year-olds should be authorized to get vaccinated next week. Really want to go ahead and get my son in there to get vaccinated. We found out yesterday from him that there's a huge COVID outbreak going on at his school right now. He said most of his classes had about half the kids missing, and he apparently was not considered to be in close contact with and most of them are out with through contact tracing. So there were just a couple kids, it sounds like, that actually tested positive for COVID in his grade level, but because of their siblings and their contact other people and all of that, it ends up being a large portion of the school that's out. We did find out that of course, we didn't get notified because he wasn't considered in close contact with any of those kids that tested positive, and none of his friends are out, so none of his friends were in close contact with those kids that tested positive. So, anyways, it's a little bit worrying, but we are in one of the few school districts that has completely, like, while the kids were hybrid learning or online learning, they completely redid all their ventilation systems in all their schools. So they have these like special air filters in all of their air handlers, and each, like, the little, I don't know what we call them, the vent things in each room have them. They're supposed to filter out like 99.99% of the virus or whatever like that. So hopefully at least there's no, like, it's mostly person to person contact they're trying to deal with. So he was a little bit upset about that last night. But hopefully, I don't know, either he catches it or he doesn't. Maybe we'll do antigen testing on him in a few weeks and just see if he caught it and didn't have symptoms or whatever. And hopefully my husband and I don't catch it, because we're actually vaccinated now. So we should have pretty good resistance to it. Anyways, that was our excitement for the week. Other than that, it's like very slowly getting nicer here in Minnesota. We've been having highs now in the, like, consistently rather than the weird up and down stuff. We've been having highs in the upper 50s to lower 60s, and then lows in the upper 30s. So we're slowly getting warmer. Hopefully by next week we'll be in the mid 60s. And finally, we were going to go ahead and put the garden in last weekend, but I couldn't move, so we didn't do that. We'll probably do it this weekend and get all that stuff going. Other than that, we're starting to do stuff again. Like, we're going to set up some Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons sessions with people in person late May, early June, so that we can start doing some of that. We actually bought tickets to go to the auto show because my son will be starting driving next year, and they're having it at our state fairgrounds outside this year and adding in other stuff. So there's gonna be like military vehicles and farm vehicles and some RVs, and it's gonna be kind of a bigger deal. So we got tickets, you have to make reservations ahead of time to go, but we got tickets with some of our friends to go outside and do that in late May as well. So kind of getting into things. It's been a little bit of a shock to get busy again. I think in a couple weekends we have like the auto show, and then we're supposed to meet friends for D&D the next day, and my son's back in hockey every Sunday afternoon, so things are picking up again, and it's a little bit of a shock to the system. I mean, it makes me happy, but it's kind of exhausting as well, because you're so used to like not doing barely anything, and then as stuff ramps up, it's kind of ramping up all at once. So it'll be yet another adjustment, which we're all getting used to, having to readjust our lives completely at the whim of the pandemic. So, all right, now you got a long update and some my favorite books of April, and I hope you enjoyed both, and I hope you have a great week of reading ahead of you, and that you got some wonderful books. And please share with me down below any books that you really love that you read in April. I would love to hear about them. I'm always looking for new books to read. I do try to do videos every Wednesday and Saturday. Lately, it seems to only be Wednesday or Saturday because of all these various weird things happening, but I'll try to get back into that routine as we keep going here. I know it's going to be another adjustment as we start to slowly, hopefully, come out of this pandemic. All right. Well, have a great week of reading, and I will talk to you on Wednesday. Bye.